What's good, hooligans? It's your boy TornadoMcRae back at it again with another video, and it is ESPN Wednesday. Hope y'all having a great weekend and y'all been having a blessed one. Please disregard everything going on in the back. Y'all already know I'm moving. It's a whole thing. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead, get into it. Not gonna waste y'all time. Gonna address a lot of football today. First things first, what I want to do, shout out to the Michigan Wolverines on getting the job done in the college football championship, beating the Washington Huskies 34-13. Honestly, it was a great game in the first half, and I will say Michigan's run game was very, very dominant. They played the way I expected them to. Washington, on the other hand, I will have to admit, missed a lot of big plays. I don't know if Penix just wasn't able to put the touch on it due to the defensive line rush of Michigan, but there were a number of big plays they left on the field and a number of opportunities that Washington missed, which I think could have kept the game closer. And what's crazy is in the second half, I felt Washington was stopping Michigan a lot more, but could not convert on the opportunities they had.
He's out of line, but he's right.
It was unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen the game closer. However, Michigan put up the amount of points I thought they would. If you watched my ATFT podcast with my co-host Ricebox, I said Michigan was going to put up 34. I thought it would have been a 34-30 game.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Or at least 34-28, 34-31, somewhere around there. But that just did not come to fruition. It's kind of sad. However, Washington deserved to be there. Michigan deserved to be there in my mind. They played their hearts out. And shout out to the quarterback, McCarthy. There was a photo I saw of him last year during the TCU game. If y'all know the Stephon Diggs trend where he sat and watched TCU celebrate their bowl game last year in the semifinal. He just sat there and embraced that feeling, said he wanted to get back there and wanted to make sure he could convert this time through. And as a quarterback, he did so, led Michigan to the championship. Did not play his greatest game, did not even play a great first half. He was kind of just game managing, but they definitely deserved that. I think it was imperative for Michigan to get the job done, especially for Jim Harbaugh to stop the naysayers, say he could never win a national championship there. Even Paul Feinbaum was saying he's never been so happy to be wrong. Honestly, Paul Feinbaum, you've been wrong on a lot. So I'm glad that you were wrong about this as well. I'm glad to see Jim Harbaugh finally win. I didn't think he would. After the second or third time losing to Ohio State, I was starting to question if he would ever even get close to a national championship. And then when they lost to TCU last year, I was like, bro, you are on the hot seat.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied.
If you don't even sniff it or get there, I think you're fired in the next couple years. In the next year, to be honest. So he's kind of secured his job and solidified everything. Now, will he stay is a big question. I have heard rumors that he's leaving, but I've also talked to people I know, and they're like, it makes no sense for him to leave. I think it's a possibility he leaves with the NCAA sanctions potentially coming down on Michigan for the next couple years. If they do, due to the whole sign stealing scandal. When scandals are coming, coaches tend to leave. When sanctions are coming, usually coaches tend to skedaddle.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
But overall, it was cool. Now, there is a thing that I don't appreciate and I don't like that I've seen going around. And I saw a post yesterday, it's right here. Here it is. Said, this Michigan team is the best football team in college football history and would beat anybody, including that 2019 LSU team.
What kind of shit is that?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What? Whoever made this, you are the epitome of a prisoner of the moment. Ain't no fucking way that Michigan team is beating that 2019 LSU team. They're not even beating 2022 Georgia. They're not beating 2017 or 2018 Clemson. They're not beating any championship Alabama team over the last 10 years. They're not beating the 01 Miami Hurricanes. They're not beating the 04-05 USC Trojans. What are you talking about, dog? There are a number of teams that will dog walk this Michigan team, including the 2019 LSU Tigers. You think Joe Burrow is overthrowing Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in those situations? I'm a Clemson fan. I saw my corners get dog walked that year. I can tell you he's not missing those throws. That LSU offense was stacked. That LSU defense was stacked. Georgia's offensive defense the last 2 years, stacked. Bama, stacked. Clemson, stacked. How do you make that bold of a statement with a straight face is beyond me. That's beyond me. I ain't never ever seen crack cocaine that strong. That's a Percocet with a switch on it, bro. I don't know who made that. you must be a diehard Michigan fan. Again, I give credit where credit is due. They deserve to win the championship, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not talk crazy. With college football over, we now turn to the NFL. This past weekend was week 18, the final week of the season, and a number of storylines happened to solidify who's going to the playoffs starting this upcoming weekend and who's not.
Well, because you lose it, you never win.
Oh, boy!
That stuff is...
Yes!
So let's recap. You had the Jacksonville Jaguars unfortunately choke away the AFC South, and because they lost and the Houston Texans won, the Houston Texans behind CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans in their first year together are going to the playoffs.
Wait, what?
And it's a lot of Panthers fans, I've seen y'all said, oh, we should have drafted CJ Stroud. No, I've said this once, I've said this twice, I'll say it numerous times. If you switch CJ Stroud and Bryce Young and DeMeco Ryans are going to the playoffs, and CJ Stroud is looking at a 2-14 record. The reason being is because even though they were in similar positions, personnel-wise, the Houston Texans have far better and more competent coaching and execution than the Carolina Panthers.
Hold up. Let him...
So it didn't matter which one we went with, this was always going to be the potential scenario. And it showed. And not only that, the other team in the AFC South that had no shot at the playoff, the Tennessee Titans, helped the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills clinch a spot in the playoffs.
How, Sway?
Kind of wild because I don't think Pittsburgh needs to be in the playoffs or deserves to be in the playoffs. I think a lot of Steelers fans would say that. However, they won when they needed to. Somehow, some way, Mike Tomlin kept his winning season intact, and because of what they did, things aligned and got them a playoff spot. And speaking of Buffalo, Buffalo is your 2023 AFC East champions. How? I don't know, bro. Miami, you flopped. You had the AFC East title on lock and had Buffalo hanging on by a thread. A thread, dog. Like that. They didn't even think they would make a wild card spot. And because y'all floundered in the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, they come in and steal the AFC East title and jump from the 7 seed to the 2 seed because of it.
Should have taken the shot, fat ass.
They were the 7th and final seed, but because they beat Miami and won that game, jumped all the way to the 2 seed. Good job, Miami. Y'all love playing on the road, I guess. I don't know. And speaking of teams floundering division leads, the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all had one job.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
One thing I needed y'all to do. Hold serve and win the NFC East. Now, we all got to hear about the Cowboys talk about how they're the division champ and have a home playoff game. Y'all failed. I don't know what injury bug y'all got going around, but you failed. Your play calling's been weird. The tush push did not work to the point where y'all scraping by and you're the 5 seed now. Just tragic. And staying in the NFC, we're going to go a little bit south. The New Orleans Saints beat down the Atlanta Falcons. To the point where Jameis Winston is calling audibles in garbage minutes to run up the score from 41-17 to 48-17. Honestly, if I get an interception on the 1-yard line in that situation, and we as a team are like, hey, we want to make sure this guy who was the leading rusher in touchdowns last year, but has not had a single rushing touchdown this year, but has not complained about it, yeah, I'm going to get him his shine. And funny enough, some receipts were pulled up. Atlanta did the same thing to New Orleans a couple years ago, where at the end of the game, when they were up 23-17 on the final play, and the player ran it all the way back for a touchdown.
Not going to spike it. 14 seconds. Breeze pumps again. Drilled, fumbles, picked up by Atlanta. Here's Umanura. He's going to go. If he decides to go, he waves goodbye. He's looking at the clock, and he's going to take it all the way. 84 yards to seal it for Atlanta.
And I think a fitting way for that game to end.
That's karma. I'm just saying. It's okay when you do it, but it's a problem when they do it. Hey, man, gotta take it as you get it. Finally, Jordan Love and Green Bay Packers sneak into the final wild card spot. I'm happy for Jordan Love. He's finally getting the playtime and the recognition he deserves in Green Bay, and I'm happy to see him blossoming and coming to fruition, developing into a great quarterback. I hope they do well. I really do. Jordan Love deserves it. So with all that madness and with everything that happened in week 18, these are now your matchups that you got going into Super Wild Card Weekend. You have the Browns going to Houston, the ghost of Deshaun's past. The Dolphins going to Kansas City. The return of the cheetah to Arrowhead? Okay. The Steelers and the Bills, who's more sporadic on their gameplay. The Packers and going to the Cowboys. And the curse of Dez. Will the curse of Dez be lifted? That is the big question of here. Personally, to me, the saddest one, the Rams going to Detroit. Is Stafford going to stab the stake through the heart of Detroit fans? I low-key don't want to watch that game, but I want to watch that game. And lastly, Eagles are going to Tampa Bay to play the Bucs in the battle of inconsistency and injuries. So with all that being said, guys, who do I have? Who am I predicting? I got old Joe Flacco shutting the door on the young guns in Houston. When it comes to Tyreek's return, I don't think it's going to be enough, and I believe Kansas City will find a way. For some reason, they always do. In the Mahomes and Andy Reid era, they find a way to get it done, and I don't foresee that changing. Now, when it comes to the Steelers at the Bills, Josh Allen, I swear, if you let Mason Rudolph outplay you, add the fact that TJ Watt is not playing in this game, I am going to request that you get traded ASAP, because there's no way y'all should lose this game. Y'all are too talented to lose this game. Y'all are too talented to lose this game. Come on now. In regards to the Packers, Jordan Love, please do me a favor, ruin their hopes in their own stadium. I want that entire stadium quiet as a mouse pissing on cotton, bro. Like, that's how quiet I want it to be. I want it to be that quiet to where everybody can hear that in the locker room. Sliding over to the Rams in Detroit, I want Detroit to win, bro. And Dan Campbell, I trust. I want Detroit to win. I want them to have success, playoff success. I want them to go far. I am honestly wanting to see Detroit and Cleveland Super Bowl. Nigga, what? Just two franchises who deserve some love and be like, you know what? All right, cool. Will that happen? Probably not, because as y'all can see, the script writers are script writing right now with these matchups. What script can you write with Detroit and Cleveland? Nothing. That's not making the most money for the NFL. I understand. I know. With the Eagles and the Bucks, all I gotta say is, Philly, fight back. Fight back, you bums. Fight back. Fight back, you bums. Fight back. Y'all need help. But y'all are good enough to get by. Come on now. Don't let them do this to you. But it's going to be an interesting weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend to watch, and I'm looking forward to all the games. I think they will all be really good and hopefully very entertaining. I'm also praying that nothing comes down to a controversial call. But with that being said, guys, that's all I got right now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom. Y'all know it helps my algorithm, and as your auntie's favorite neighbor, she's got to know when I'm putting out these videos. Also, let's continue on this road to 400 subscribers right now, bro. I thank each and every one of you who have been subscribing to the channel lately. And be sure to also follow my ATFT podcast as well as my Jam and Marmalade podcast with my co-host Ricebox26. Follow his channel too. And that being said, guys, when it comes to football and my predictions, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with two tats. Peace. Much love to all of you. I'm out.